People think I like Kevin Stefanski now because the Browns are 11-5. Let me explain something to you. I don't like Kevin Stefanski. I don't. And Joe Flacco has saved the season. The reason Kevin Stefanski looks good now is because of Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's ability to operate his offense. Here's the problem I have with Kevin Stefanski. You traded for Deshaun Watson, $230 million, all these draft picks, and you outright refused to tailor an offense to his strengths. You kept on trying to force your offense, which obviously is a good one because it's been run for a while, successful. Flacco's done it successful in the past. But you have to understand the man's limitations. Watson's limitations, you have to see that as a football coach. And they used an excuse last year, even though they ran the offense they're running this year. They said the Jacoby Brissett's offense they ran last year because they didn't have time to change it. It's the exact same offense they're running now. And then this year, they forced it on him again, and obviously Watson's not comfortable with it. And if you notice Watson, he's always a second late on his throws. He's second late evading tackles. He's just a second late because he's thinking too much. That's why he looks like sometimes confused and like in quicksand. He's late on avoiding rush. He's late on passes. He's confused. And Deshaun Watson needs to be in the shotgun. Do what he did in Houston, but he won't. Stefanski will not. He just won't do it. Now, what's going to happen is Flacco's going to bail us out. We're going to win the Super Bowl, and we're going to have a big problem next year because me personally, I would sign Flacco unless you're going to change your offense to what Deshaun Watson likes. They're going to say, well, he got hurt and he was just coming around. So they're going to go another season with Watson being confused and putting up lackluster numbers, and he's just never going to change it. I mean, you got a guy for $230 million. You got to play to his strengths, but Stefanski won't do that because he's too fucking hard-headed. Obviously, Joe Flacco runs his offense beautifully. He's done it before. Deshaun Watson, sometime he may get this offense or he may not, but we don't have time to fuck around. His contract's running out. So why not devise what he's good at? That's what I don't understand. And you even heard them say that Deshaun Watson had to beg Stefanski to do certain plays. That's my problem with Stefanski. He doesn't play to his quarterback's strengths. He did it with Mayfield. He did it with the offense. The offense looks great now because of Flacco. Flacco knows this system. And that's what pisses me off about fucking Stefanski. He should have tailored his offense to the $230 million quarterback. And then when he's done, you can go back to your other offense or whatever. I understand he thinks Watson can run this, but it's evident Watson is not comfortable running this. And he's never going to get comfortable running it, so you might as well just change it to what he does best so we can actually benefit from his talent and utilize his strengths rather than try to fit him into an offense that you're comfortable with when he's obviously not. Because we're going to waste another year trying to get him to learn this offense. Me personally, I would love to have Deshaun Watson or Joe Flacco here next year. But here's the problem. Flacco might want to go somewhere else and start. Flacco would be perfect for Watson to learn this offense under. And then I think Watson could probably grasp it if he's learned it under Flacco. Because there's no doubt, Deshaun Watson, as much shit as I talk about him on Twitter to fucking piss people off, he is talented and he can be a beast. But Joe Flacco would be a great tutor. Now, I don't know if Flacco would stay in Cleveland and be a backup. I know he's great for what the Browns gave him this opportunity, but if he can go somewhere and start, and I don't know how many, I mean, here's my thing. I think he's going to win the Super Bowl. I really believe the Browns are going to win it this year. He's going to get MVP. And he might be looking for a payday, and there might be a team out there to sign him, but he's 30, going on 39 years old. He probably got 2 or 3 more years left, to be honest with you, because he looks like he kept his body in shape. His arm's still strong. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I honestly think Flacco may come back, honestly, as a backup, knowing that Deshaun Watson's injury history. He may come back, and he'd be a perfect tutor for Watson. But that still doesn't absolve the fact that Stefanski will not deviate his offense. He just won't. To Watson's strength. You think do what Watson likes to do, and then you can sprinkle in your stuff. But that's what pisses me off about Stefanski. And his problem is we lost the Seahawks game strictly because of him. He tried losing the Colts game. We got down to the 1-yard line, and we did 3 straight passing plays, not with Deshaun Watson, not with Joe Flacco, with P.J. fucking Walker. That's a problem. He tried losing the 49ers game. He had P.J. Walker throw at the goal line. Should have been intercepted by Fred Warner. And Stefanski said that wasn't a play call. It was. You threw your quarterback under the bus. So, it's quite evident Stefanski's offense can work. There's no doubt. And Joe Flacco can sling it around with the best of them. A lot of people are talking about Flacco's interceptions. Honestly, he's got, 13 TDs, 8 interceptions? To be real, he probably got 4 legitimate interceptions. Probably should have another 4 interceptions. But his other 4 interceptions he has, receivers running the wrong route, tip balls or whatever. So he should probably have 4. And then he probably had 4 that he should have had the defenses dropped. So it's probably right. But anyway, Flacco For a guy coming off his couch, I can live with his interceptions. One a game, I don't mind. When you start to get over 2, that's when you got a problem. But what Flacco's doing right now, he leads the NFL in passing yards and passing touchdowns in basically every fucking statistical category in football since he came in there. That shows you how effective Stefanski's offense can be when it's run by a quarterback that knows how to run it. Now, Watson's not used to this type of offense. Joe Flacco would be the perfect teacher, but like I said, I don't know if he's going to be here that long. I'm just pissed that Stefanski cost us the Seattle game. Probably him and Watson both cost us the Steelers game. Terrible play calling. Watson played horrible. That's the thing. Watson has shown you flashes where he can be great, but it's been what? Maybe 6 quarters this year where he can be great, and the rest of the time he just looked terrible. So that's why I know this offense is confusing Watson. He's playing like a guy confused. That's why he's a second late on his reads. That's why he's second late evading tackles or sacks, whatever. He looks like he's in quicksand running. He's thinking out there. We need a guy, the free-minded Watson out there. And that's why I think Stefanski is a bad coach because, like I say, you want to call that pass play with Deshaun Watson or Joe Flacco, you can, but not with P.J. fucking Walker in one of the most hostile environments ever, Seattle. That's where he gets his head from calling plays, and he could really benefit from not calling plays. Alex Van Pelt knows the system. Let him call plays. I don't know why a coach would want to call plays anyway. I really don't. He kind of reminds me of Mike McCarthy. He does things that he shouldn't do. Like Mike McCarthy blew that game yesterday, even though they won, but he should have been running the ball instead of passing it. It's just like a couple weeks ago against the Bears. He called a timeout right before half. Now, the Bears almost scored, and they really should have scored. That could have changed the whole complexion of the game. So, Stefanski has been bailed out this year by Jim Schwartz's defense, Dustin Hopkins, and Joe Flacco. I cannot think of any games where Stefanski actually won us. I really can't. But I'm not going to lie to you. I wanted Stefanski fired before Joe Flacco came here. And I seen what Joe Flacco can do or what this offense can do if you have a quarterback running it proficiently. But if you got to, sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and say, Watson's not getting it. Let me just do what he does best. That's what we really need to do until Watson can get, I don't know. Personally, I would just put the offense like Watson wants and fuck your offense until Watson's gone. I mean, I don't get why this guy would not tailor his offense to Watson's strength. If you get this offense to where Watson's comfortable, what he did in Houston, whatever, it could be dangerous. It really could. Also, you got to look at Joe Flacco with David Njoku now as a fucking weapon. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore. Everybody plays better with Joe Flacco. So that's why I'm ready to give Stefanski. I'm not going to fire him because I've seen what this offense can be with the regular quarterback. But I'm not absolving him from not changing his offense. But I will say this: Joe Flacco is a beast, and he's made all these guys relevant. I personally hope they sign Flacco next year. Obviously, it's going to start Deshaun Watson $230 million. If you could trade Deshaun Watson, that'd be great. Because, if you're not going to put him in an offense that he thrives in, why even have him? That's what I don't get. You traded for a guy and you didn't. You should have done everything in your power to build that offense around what he does, not try to force your offense on him. That's what pisses me off. But if you're not going to put him in an offense that he's comfortable in, you might as well trade him, get whatever you can. I don't think you're going to get much for him, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Whoever does trade for him, I'll guarantee you, they're going to put him in an offense that he's comfortable with, and he's going to make Stefanski look like a fucking idiot. I will guarantee you that. I will guarantee you, whoever trades for Watson, if they trade him, is going to make Stefanski look like an idiot because he's going to start playing like he did in 2020, and the coach is going to be like, well, I just did what he's comfortable in. Zach Taylor would have Watson playing unbelievable because he would have fucking not forced him in his system. He would have put him in any system he was comfortable in. That's what you have to do as a coach, and Stefanski never does. He never did that. Never. So, yeah, I haven't turned the corner on Stefanski. Me personally, I don't mind him coaching the team. Never did. I said he can be a coach. His play calling's horrible. So I would take away play calling and tell him next year, if you're going to keep Watson, you better change the playbook or change his offense up to his strengths. And I don't even think Stefanski wanted Watson. I'm going to tell you why. This is all Andrew Berry or Jimmy Haslam, one or the other, because there's no way Stefanski would take DTR and Deshaun. Those ain't the type of quarterbacks he uses. They're just not. He wants a guy that can read defense with the play action. So Andrew Berry and him might not be on the same page. I don't know. Or maybe Stefanski said, I'll make it work, and he just won't make it work because he's going to try forcing his offense on Deshaun Watson because he's hard-headed and an egomaniac. I don't know. But, yeah, that's my stance on Stefanski. I don't hate the guy anymore, but he's a terrible play caller, and the fact that Joe Flacco's running his offense effortlessly tells me that his offense can't succeed in this league, but it also tells me that his refusal to adapt an offense to Deshaun Watson's strength. Because it's obvious, this offense here is not Deshaun Watson's strength. It's not. If you put on Deshaun Watson in the offense he's comfortable in, I'll guarantee he would have been back to 2020 form in 2 or 3 games. Him not getting back to that form, he had that good second half against the Ravens. Did anyone actually think he was going to play good the following week? No. Against whoever. Do you think he would have continued that? No, he's up and down. He's up and down. We've seen what he can do with it, but the moments are far and too few between whatever, so. Hopefully, Stefanski comes to a medium and he says, listen, I'll have to do what I have to do, or they trade him, or just keep Joe Flacco. Whatever. People think I'm nuts, but Joe Flacco still got years left in the tank. There's no doubt about it. And I do believe Flacco would, obviously, I think he would come back for a backup role in Cleveland, knowing that Watson, he's a play away. I do think he would come back. I think he likes it here. I think he's really grateful that the Browns gave him an opportunity. And let's call a spade a spade. He loves fucking Stefanski. So that's another reason I kind of changed my tune on Stefanski. If Joe Flacco likes Stefanski, then something's got to be okay. So he loves Stefanski. So I wouldn't put it past Joe Flacco to say, you know what, I'll back you guys up. Because he knows he's a play away from coming back in. I would not put it past Flacco. And plus, that would really help Deshaun Watson grasp his offense, because Stefanski's not going to change it and tailor it to Watson's strength. We just know that already. If he was going to do that, he would have already. He would have. His excuse next year when he talks to Haslam, like, well, he got injured. He was just coming around, Jim. He was just coming around. That's his excuse, trust me, because he wants this offense to work, and it works flawlessly with Joe Flacco. It really does. Players are becoming. David Njoku was a scrub until Flacco got here. And it wasn't that David Njoku was a scrub. He just didn't have a quarterback that was on time with the throws and everything. So David Njoku could be a great weapon, and he is a great chess piece right now because we've got a real quarterback. But I would love to see Flacco in here to back up Watson. Think about it, because he's probably going to play. Because Watson's very injury prone. Anyway, that's my video. I haven't changed on Stefanski. I don't hate the guy anymore. I'll allow him to continue to coach, but Joe Flacco has saved the season with Dustin Hopkins, Jim Schwartz. Oh, and one other thing, too. Bill Callahan. Our left tackle's playing better than the guy we drafted up the 6th pick, whatever. Bill Callahan is an offensive genius. That offensive line has kept Flacco upright. So, backups. We got 2 backup tackles. Imagine when the Browns get fully healthy next year. That's why it's imperative. If we win this championship this year, we'll be the greatest one ever. It'll get Joe Flacco into the Hall of Fame. And I notice a lot of Ravens fans don't even, they're not, I don't see the Ravens fans hating on Joe Flacco because he's on the Browns right now. And I will say this, I've never spoke a bad thing about Joe Flacco, even when it was the Ravens. Never. I said bad things about Roethlisberger, I couldn't stand him, but Joe Flacco I never hated, even though he owned us. Joe Flacco's a hard guy to hate. Although Quinn Williams looked like he hated him the other night for a second. But anyway, Joe Flacco's a beast. He's the best we've had in Cleveland. He reminds me of Derek Anderson, a more polished version of Derek Anderson. And don't think for a second that Flacco doesn't realize right now in his mind that if he gets to the Super Bowl and the Browns win, he knows he's guaranteed into the Hall of Fame. Joe Flacco's guaranteed the Hall of Fame. If you get to the Super Bowl with the Cleveland Browns and win it, guaranteed Hall of Fame. Don't think for a second Flacco ain't trying to get that. I know he wants a championship, but he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. So, and just watching the Joe Flacco story, it reminds me of the Tim Tebow story, but way better because you have an actual quarterback that can play. And no matter what happens with Flacco, if he goes out and throws 6 interceptions and whatever, I'll never hate the guy. I appreciate everything he's done because he's a fucking beast. He really is. 6. I always like big quarterbacks. So, yeah, Joe Flacco's great. Like I said, I know Deshaun Watson can play. We just got a head coach that's a hard head and doesn't want to change his offense up. But this Browns team's very dangerous. Like I said, in the playoffs, a lot of people say the defense, this and that. In a one-game season, every week, this defense could be lights out because it doesn't miss a beat with injuries. The front 4 are dominant. The back end of the defense is dominant. And Jim Schwartz, it doesn't matter who gets hurt. They come in and step up in a big way. So nobody wants to play the Cleveland Browns. They really don't.